Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Jay's Flix podcast. I'm your host, Jen Gay. Today, we're going to be talking about season 4 predictions for Netflix's hit series Outer Banks. This is a show that I started watching actually last year. I was in my second semester of sophomore year here in college, and I started watching. I was just looking for stuff on Netflix to watch, and I'm like, you know what? I see Outer Banks. I'm like, okay, this could be a cool show. So I started watching it, and man, it was good. It was good. I love the cast. They did a great job casting everybody. In this show, the setting was nice where they filmed it at in North Carolina. And great storyline also. So I'm going to be kind of recapping it a little bit, reviewing it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm going to be predicting what season 4 has in store for us. As it's been renewed for a fourth season, it was a couple months back by Netflix. So we'll get into that, but make sure you guys continue to subscribe to the channel if you have not already for more content like this, and join the Jay's Flix family. We'd love to have you here. And got a bunch of content here for you guys. Like I said, I've done videos about, Leave the World Behind, Voices of What We Replace. Did a video about The Flash earlier, so I got a bunch of good content here, and I'm going to be continuing to do more and more here as we go along here. But thank you guys for tuning in, and let's get started. So, as I mentioned, Outer Banks. So first off, this is a show about a group of teen friends. It's set in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. They're on an island right now. They're on an island, and it's split off into two sections. Kind of like a rich and a poor section. You got the rich people who are called the kooks, funny enough, and the poor people who are called, or the lesser people who don't have as much money, the Pogues, right? And this show was directed by the Jonas and Josh Pate, the Pate brothers. The Pates, Jonas Pates and Josh Pates, directed this show. They did a great job with it. But anyway, yeah. So it's split off into two sections. The island is, like I said, the rich, the kooks, and the Pogues. Of course, John B, our lead character, played by Chase Stokes, very popular actor, and he does a great job. Actually, I can feel like he, to me, really embodies John B. John B's his kid. He lost his father. Couple months before the show began, his father went on a treasure hunt, and he didn't come back for a while. He went missing. People thought he was dead. His mom is in the picture, but he's just making out on his own, living in a little shack on the island with his friends, JJ, Kiara, who technically is a kook, but she hangs out with the Poes because she doesn't like rich people like that. And Pope is her main crew. And they've been kicking it together for a long time. And so that's their crew, basically, and like I said, star-studded cast led by, of course, Chase Stokes, as I mentioned, Madeline Klein, Rudy Pankow, Madison Bailey plays Kiara, Charles Eston, you might know him from Disney. He played the Ross dad, Morgan Ross on Jesse, and a couple other shows he did. So yeah, it's a good cast. Like I said, I like it. I like the show. Basically, so what happens is, John B wants to go look for his dad. He wants to go look for his dad, and he's found some clues on how to. He thinks his dad's still alive, and he's found some clues as to how that could happen, and that could lead him to a big treasure. Some gold, actually. So I won't really spoil any more than that. You guys are going to have to go watch it if you haven't already. It's streaming on Netflix. The first 3 seasons are streaming right now on Netflix. It's a great show. You have to watch it to understand. But skipping ahead here. So if you, like I said, if you haven't watched it already, you might want to kind of block your ears out for a minute. But anyway, so moving on to at the end of season 3, after John B, Sarah, played by Madeline Klein, who was his girlfriend. They kind of got together in season, near the end of season 1, going to season 2. She is a kook. Her dad, Ward Cameron, they're the Cameron family, the richest family on the island. And her brother Rafe, he's a cokehead, and he's very crazy. But anyway, So throughout the first couple of seasons, they're on this hunt. Sarah joins the hunt a little later in season two, and they're looking for the gold, and then they end up going like the Bahamas and all sorts of places around looking for stuff. And all while trying to combat Sarah's family. Led by Ward Cameron, who's also on the hunt for the gold. He's a greedy, evil guy, and he wants that for himself. His son as well, and as the seasons go on, Rafe Cameron, played by Drew Starkey, is his brother. His son Rafe is he starts to lose it mentally. He starts to go to crazy town, and it just gets really dangerous for the Pogues. They meet new people along the way. Of course, as season goes on, and then towards season three, which is the end. So far they do find the city of gold, El Dorado. They find it, and they're praised for their journey, their antics as heroes in the town. The town of thing. I keep forgetting the name of the town that they're in, but the name of the town they're in, they praise them for it. Um, and yeah, so actually, I'm gonna find the name of that because that's driving me crazy because it's mentioned so many times where they are. Um, and I'm gonna find out where exactly that is. So it's oh well, yeah, I'm gonna find out what's the name of it is. So okay, so it's yeah, it's Kildare County basically. Okay, I guess that's yeah, Kildare County is that's where the show takes place. But yeah, anyway, so moving on from that note, they find the city of gold. They're praised for it by the town. Um, However, a man comes up to him at the end of the like the last episode. He approaches him. He's got a map of Blackbeard, the famous pirate, of his ship, and that there's a treasure that has been claimed that is out there somewhere, and he wants this crew, John B, Pope, Kiara, JJ, Sarah, to find it for him. He wants them in on the action. He wants to hire them to be his crew. And what's funny I love about this at the end of this at the end of the show, at the end of this episode, you see John B. He puts a little smile on his face, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, let's go, let's get it. Another hunt, let's go get it." So, I mean, like I said, I just, it's a fun show, and like I said, I think with this, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because Ward Cameron died in season three. Rafe and Sarah's dad, so that makes me think is Rafe going to take over as the main villain for the show. He's going to want revenge for his dad's death. He's going to be mad. He's going to be really mad at the Pogues for letting his dad die at the end of this at the end of the season three. And so that makes me think he's going to come after them and do something crazy. He's going to definitely go after Blackbeard's treasure once he finds out that the Pogues are going after it. So he's definitely going to do that. Um, Other than that, I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun season. It's like I say, it's you got the relationship dynamics. JJ and Kiara, they end up getting together around like late season two, I believe it is around that time, if I'm not mistaken. Mid to late season two, they become a couple. Or no, I think it's season three, like maybe early season three. But they get together. John B. and Sarah, of course. Then Pope meets him a little someone as well, but we'll like I said, you guys have to watch the show to understand fully about that. You guys have to really watch the show. But I think how they're going to set season four. They're going to have them look for this treasure, and it's going to be really interesting. There are new characters I expect to be brought in, and the Pates brothers always do a good job of how they set up things. Laying Easter eggs in throughout. So I expect to be names that were mentioned in the previous three seasons to be brought up again. Who knows? Some people may have not died and they may come back and they really weren't dead. I don't know. We saw it happen a couple of times um, in the show before, and it is a common practice that a lot of shows like that tend to do. They like to kill people off and then bring them back. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Outer Banks season 4, guys, is supposed to come out this year, sometime this year. I'm expecting like around maybe May. Either May release seems likely here in 2024. So it's gonna be a while. But if you guys have already watched it, it's fun. It's a great show. It's very entertaining. Very team related. So you feel that, like me being at the time I was 19 when I was watching that show. So I kind of related to these the characters a little bit, and it's always good, interesting like that. When they have characters that are the same ages, their actors aren't the same age, but like when the characters are the same age as the directed audience that they're intending the show to be targeted towards, you feel for these characters. You feel for them. You start to cheer for them, root for them, or hate them, depending on what's going on, whatever. Um, so yeah, that's how I felt. But like I said, you guys make sure you definitely catch Outer Banks on Netflix. It's the first 3 seasons are streaming right now. By hands down, this is one of the best shows on Netflix. I mean, I know that's saying something. Like, you got shows like You and um, Cobra Kai, but this is up there with them. Like, I definitely think that Outer Banks is one of the top shows out there. So you guys need to check it out for sure. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Flix podcast. Of course, as always, I'm your host Jaden, and today that'll wrap us up for the podcast. But we'll see you next time right here on Jay Flix.